Theater is magical to me, and I'm not really a whimsical person. That's why I feel corny saying that, but it's the closest thing for me to magic.
We had a record year at A Christmas Carol this year, and the reason was people just wanted to get back together, and they wanted to have that experience. So to be back, to be able to do that, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
One of the big reasons that I didn't know that this was something I could do was because nobody ever talked to me about it. My favorite thing about any sort of educational outreach that the Rep does is that it opens up a conversation for these students. Every time we did a student matinee, I would say to myself, there is someone in this audience whose life was changed.
Seeing it in a script form versus seeing it live was that opportunity that really connected the dots for a lot of my students, who otherwise may not have ever had that experience. After the show was over, they just sat there. Several were crying, several were just kind of stunned. I will always treasure that moment.
So historically, theater has been a place, and people go to that place. We call them theater goers. KCRep has flipped the script on that, and we are taking theater to people.
This idea of being able to give theater away to people is sort of this idea of service that is so fundamentally key to what I believe theater can do, and that deeply informs the work that we do here at KCRep.
I'm so proud of our organization recognizing the importance of our KCRep for All program. This is a program that takes one of our productions that has a traditional run in one of our theater spaces and then expands that production with the same cast, the same direction, to 10 different neighborhoods that historically have had barriers to accessing live performing arts.
This is like a linoleum floor, a big room, folding tables, folding chairs. That's about it. And sometimes the casts, they're just a few feet away from the people in the folding chairs. People come who have never had a chance to experience KCRep before, and they are transformed.
Everybody has a moment where they think, wow, this is really cool. I'm so glad you brought this in. But the moments of biggest transformation are the people who've never seen live theater before.
A gentleman walked up to me and said, I'm 78 years old. I've never seen a play before. I thought it was going to be terrible, but it was so good. I see now why people pay for it. The fact that this 78-year-old man discovered theater in this moment, closer to the end than the beginning, that we'd still amaze him and give him something new and surprising and exciting.
Our first season was canceled after I got here because of COVID. The very first thing I did was launch a music and ghost storytelling festival that we did on the lawn of the Nelson Atkins in my first year, and it's now about to be in its fourth year.
Ghostlight is taking our theater into the community. What I really like about it is that it features the Latino experience. We put Latino and Latina performers on stage. It makes me feel seen and heard in a way that I just simply haven't in other theaters.
If you want to transform who sits in your seats, you have to fundamentally transform the relationship that your institution has with its audiences.
If we're going to be the Kansas City Repertory Theater, we need to be serving our city, not just the people who come to us, but the people who live here and the people who don't get a chance to access this kind of art, especially when the art is speaking directly to their experience.
12th night, we saw that last year. It was phenomenal. We saw folks playing roles that you may not traditionally see in a Shakespearean play. Oh my gosh, they look like me. Oh my goodness, the language and the dialect, I can connect and relate. So giving students a vision of, it doesn't have to always look like X, Y, and Z. Seeing a representation of themselves on stage, that matters, because representation truly does matter.
Increasingly, we're focused on expanding who we serve, where we serve, and what people can expect from KCRep.
The goal is to share stories, because I think when young people see stories, there is a direct impact on their sense of self, and that their story is important.
You can't tell stories without including people. And the world is full of different kinds of people. And the arts are one of the only industries that I've encountered that take all people.
For 60 years, we had a playbook. And so we're having to reimagine what that playbook looks like and navigate in uncharted waters.
It's changed a lot and is now almost coming back to the heart of itself, becoming more responsible, more accessible.
To me, it's about celebrating all the evolutions of KCRep and how we have become the company that we are because of every person who's worked with us over the last 60 years and all of the audience members who've made us part of their life.
This is the perfect time to get involved. And a great way to get involved is believing in us and investing in us so that we can deliver the type of extraordinary, transformational theater experiences that we've been sharing with you tonight.